Uh, sibling relationships, impact. Thinking about sibling relationships, thinking about the impact they have, and whether or not you think your siblings are what you think of your siblings. What do you think that they are winners? Do you think that they are successful? Are you right that they are winners or that they are successful? Is it correctly established, the link between what you think and what is? And to that thought, the things that they apply themselves to, are they successful in those things that they apply themselves to? So then you have someone who doesn't have a lot of money, maybe even unemployed and just not making money. Well, they're not applying themselves to money, so they don't have money. So, I mean, there's this thing about, well, they're not a winner, they're not successful because, or are they successful or unsuccessful? And money gets looked at, but that's not the thing. You look at what do they apply themselves to, and when you know what they apply themselves to, then you know whether or not they are successful. Because if they apply them, are they successful in that thing that they apply themselves to? The Bible. I've read the Bible. I've read a storybook Bible, and then I've read the storybook Bible from beginning to end, and then I read the King James Version Bible from like this. It wasn't ABC. It was like A, Z, D, X. That sort of way. Like first read Genesis, attempted to read. No, just I read a lot of Exodus, but I didn't read all of it. Didn't get through Exodus, and then I started again and started with Matthew. So that means finish Genesis, then Matthew, and then instead of A, B, C, D, it was more like A, Y, Z, that sort of thing, or J, K. Either way, not in order. It wasn't 1 through this or that. It was like 4, 7, 8, that sort of system. And I had been successful. I've been successful as far as the Bible goes because I have applied myself to the Bible. At this point in my life, I have not been successful in terms of money because I haven't applied myself to money. When I did apply myself to money doing overtime at a lumber company, I was successful with money because I applied myself to money. And I mean, I'm saying all this to say to you, the viewer, what you apply yourself to is how you determine whether or not you are a loser or a winner. Because if you are successful in that which you apply yourself to, like I wanted to do overtime, so I did a lot of overtime. I mean, working 7 days a week, over 40 hours, like I don't, whatever, 5 to 5 every day except for Saturday and Sunday, and then Saturday and Sunday not 5 to 5, but like 6 hours Saturday, so like 3 something, maybe 4 Sunday. That 6 to 2 on Saturday, and 9 to 12 on Sunday, something like that. Either way, I applied myself to a thing and I was successful. I applied myself to doing the beginning part of overtime, like just showing up at 6 until they let me clock in at 6, and then because that establishes something, I applied myself to, I want overtime. I'm going to show that I'm willing to show. I'm going to show that I can handle it. And you are successful in that which you can handle. If you apply yourself to a thing that you cannot handle, you fail. But if you apply yourself to a thing that you can handle, you are successful. So the ingredient, or whatever classification you would be saying, to have success is to apply yourself to a thing that you are or can be good at, instead of a thing that just, I mean, if you're not an athletic person by genetics or something, you can push yourself to do it, but you have to be driven. And if you're not driven, you're going to fail. Because, I mean, there's that. Someone who is physically qualified to be an athlete, but is not passionate about it, not driven, they're going to fail. But someone who is not physically adequate to be an athlete, but are driven, they will do better than the person who is physically adequate, because mind over matter. And, well, that's the system. It's, I mean, that's like football or soccer. No, not soccer. I'm getting it. Okay. American football. That distinguishment, that distinguishing. In American football, I just thinking about, like, they call it soccer, and I was thinking, well, no, they call soccer football, and then I call it that sort of thing. Anyways, you apply yourself to a thing that you are adequate toward, and that is adequate towards you, and you are successful. So, if you want to be in a relationship with somebody, I mean, friendship, whatever, you have to be adequate to that person. And if you are adequate, it works. If you are inadequate, it does not work. And that doesn't mean that you're inadequate to everybody. That's like, okay, some girls think, oh, no guy likes me. No guy, I mean, that's like a overweight girl. Well, no one likes her because she's fat. No. Some people want that, some people don't. And maybe it's harder to find someone who wants that than it is to find someone who doesn't. Sure. I mean, that's like, at least by my understanding, I view a relationship as a commitment. And for whatever deviations that would come along with, like, my personality or this or that, saying, oh, well, he must not be that committed because he doesn't say I love you every time. Well, I'll be committed in the ways that I'm committed, I suppose. And then you have guys who, they may tell you they love you every time they see you, but they don't show up when they say they will. So, what's worse? He doesn't show up, he cancels at the last minute, or doesn't even tell you he's canceling, just doesn't show up. Or a guy who is slow to say I love you, but quick to follow through with plans you've made. The differences, and I mean, I'm talking about all these things, but yeah, going back to success, yeah, a girl who is looking more for someone who's committed as far as timeline, stuff like that, is not going to be adequate, and the guy is not going to be adequate to her when the guy is someone who does not follow through with plans. That's like, if I was with a girl that needed a lot of attention that I was not interested in giving, I'm inadequate for her, and she is inadequate for me, because not gonna work. If I need a lot of attention, if I'm high maintenance, then it's not gonna work with someone who's not adequate to deal with someone that high maintenance. So that it's better that you get somebody who is as high maintenance as you, in the ways that you are high maintenance, so you understand each other. Because then it's not going to be perceived as being high maintenance. It's just going to be, well, I like things this way. Oh, you like things this way too. That's great. I like things that way too. And someone else may consider, well, that's high maintenance to clean the toilet every day, like scrub it, whatever. I don't do that, but I like the idea. Cleanliness. The dirty person gets with a clean person, not compatible. Clean person gets with a clean person at the same level. That works. I speak these things with the mission to bring forth life out of this tongue. Bring forth education, wisdom, understanding, knowledge, that sort of thing. Yeah, so success. Apply yourself to things that are your inclination, not things that are not. Okay, if I force myself to do a thing I do not like, there's a chance that I will end up liking it, but there is also a chance that I will, Adam, at a mark there, I'm checking. It's gone. It's healed. That's great. Hallelujah. I also had a mark on my hand. I'm checking that too. I was moving stuff in a building. Don't see it on my hand either. Healed. That's great. Hallelujah. And then like, there's an example. Someone who's like, if I keep saying hallelujah, some people get really annoyed by that. And then some people, it's like, yeah, I like that. I want someone like that because I do that too. And those people are adequate for each other, while people who do not do that are not adequate for each other. So if I'm around somebody that says things I don't like, okay, there's the cursing thing. Some people, sure, they like that. They want to, they do it, so they want someone else who does it because it mixes well. And then you have someone who doesn't do it at all, or does it very sparingly, and they are adequate for someone who doesn't do it at all or does it very sparingly. But there's the extremes on that. So trivial matters, and going into relationships, if you look at trivial things as too important, you have failed the relationship. If you only look at the things that are really important to you, like don't cheat on me, that's a good example of that is important. Okay, be honest with me. And then there's the grading system. Do you want them to tell you, well, I mean, you can be honest and not say something, instead of just lying. So if you are not okay and they ask you, are you okay, instead of saying, oh, I'm well, you could just, I mean, it's not polite, but it's not a lie. Either way, I'm thinking about these things and my position in life, how me talking would help whoever's watching, that sort of thing. And on siblings, I'm thinking about my relationships with my siblings, and do I consider them winners or losers? Do I consider them successful or unsuccessful? Do I consider them having purpose? I mean, and then I look at me because I'm among the siblingship. I'm among the children, and looking at, okay, I'm not successful in this way because I didn't apply myself. You may have someone who's not academically successful, but is very successful creatively. And then you may have someone who's very successful creatively, or I may have just said it. Either way, you get the point. Of apply yourself, successful, don't apply yourself, not successful, apply yourself to a thing you're not good at. You can do it, but it's harder. And there's the thing. Drive. If you're not driven to do it, then it's not going okay. And then there's the belief thing, faith. If you do not believe you will be successful, why then should you be successful? But if you believe you will be successful, yeah. And there's the qualifications again. If you believe that you will be with somebody, sown to the flesh instead of sown to the spirit, when you are, okay, I like the way that person looks, I'm going to introduce myself. I'm going to ask them, would you like to go and do this with me? Go and watch a movie, go on a ride, and I saw the amusement part, but I mean mainly just, you ride in a vehicle, and then just talk, go walking in the park, and then whatever results may be with that, and thinking about how do you find, okay, there it is. You find a partner by going into the unknown. You approach somebody, introduce yourself, say, hey, I'd like to do this or that with you, or I'd like to get to know you. That's good. I'd like to get to know you, because I don't know you. And I mean, maybe not saying that, but I would like to get to know you. Would you like to get to know me? I mean, that's the summarization of the whole thing. I've got tickets to this game. Do you want to go? And that, but it's the unknown thing. So you go and say that to somebody, and you've bursted their bubble, or you've expanded their bubble. And some people don't like having their bubble expanded, and some people do. So, you walk up to somebody, they're in a relationship. Okay, good for them. They are really whacked out and start berating you for even walking up to them. Okay, that's not your problem. That's their problem. I mean, I know that it's you're dealing with the whatever, maybe spit flying. Yeah, it's that's the unknown though. Maybe they will just start attacking you. Maybe they are that violent. Well, you get to find out when you walk up to them and ask, "Hey, I'm this name. I'd like to get to know you. Hi, my name is. What's your name?" And that the tongue, yeah. It's not like a kissing thing. I'm just, yeah, just doing it to do it. Yeah. Surfing the waves. Sometimes you get a good wave, sometimes you don't. I have not surfed. I'd like to. I would like to surf. I will surf. I'll just there. I will surf now. I'll go get one of the surfboards. Make it a point to bring it to the beach and flop around on it until I get it right, or find out that I am not adequate for that. Yeah. But yeah, you go and walk up to somebody and, my name is this. What is your name? Or, but yeah, I mean, it's good to know the name. And I mean, it goes further. Like, I've never asked a girl for her number. I, stupid or not, I don't know. Well, it depends on the situation. I've never asked them for their number because I wanted an environment that I could learn about them before exchanging numbers. And I didn't want to just, okay, I just learned about you one day. No, I wanted an environment where, okay, I've seen you 10 days in a row. No, maybe not in a row, like once a month. I've seen you this many times, and you've done this many correct things this many times. Now I will ask you for your number. Or maybe just by manner of the group, okay, it just happened. I was thinking about the show Danny Phantom, and in the show, the main character, Danny, of course, or it makes sense anyways. He's got a friend, Sam, and they're friends, so they're together, and like, it just, it's like, well, that's easy, but maybe not. But it works because, if you can be around somebody that much, if you can, well, I mean, that's the thing I want. I want to be with a friend. I don't want to be with, oh, she's hot! And like in the show, he's got the girl, Paulina, and that's the situation with that. He wants to be with Paulina because, oh, she's hot! But Sam is always there. She's the one he cares about, even though he doesn't recognize it. And that's like, as different as two people may be, like the sun and the moon. You have someone who's very much emulating the light of the sun, happy, cheerful. And you have someone who's very gloomy and sad. And they are emulating the moon. It can work, even though it's like, how? But there's got to be a connection, and when there's a connection, it works. But yeah, success and failure is the point. Successful and unsuccessful. You apply yourself to a thing that you are, that you want to win at. Apply yourself to what you want to win at.